Hello and welcome to day 4. Now take a moment to just take a deep breath and relax. We're going to be jumping into habits. And the first habit we learned was how to start. The next habit we learned was how to cut down. And these are all different things that pave the way to a new identity. This one as well. Today we're going to learn how to stop a behavior. And remember, becoming somebody that you want to become involves stopping what's holding you back and starting what will help you move forward. This is how you live the life that you were born to live. Again, these sound so simple and so fundamental because in truth they are. We make it more complex than it needs to be. Now living them's different, and we'll talk about that tomorrow and the next day. But for now, just relax, sit back, enjoy the stop habit formula. So this is all about you being able to stop what you want to stop. And the formula is relatively simple, as you might well guessed. It's one thing, rewired thing, floor and ceiling, and celebrate. So again, let go of all the barriers and just write down one thing. Take a few notes. Maybe you have several you're choosing from. Choose the one that you feel like is most in the way of you living the life that you were born to live. So when you have that one thing, rewire it, right? Now, what do I mean by rewiring it? Of course, we're talking about freedom. And of course, we're talking about making the space to be who you are. But it's really making way for the new you. And a lot of the old things that we have were useful at one point. They served a function, and that function's long since been gone. And it's time for us to let them go, right? So we had enchantment. It might have helped us through something. Now we're disenchanted. So disenchantment's a very powerful word because enchantment, it's almost like something had a spell on us and now we're breaking that spell, right? And once again, this involves letting go and appropriately mourning that old identity, letting it go and stepping into your new identity. And your new identity is not enchanted with this behavior, right? So you may even want to rewire your history, right? Rewrite your history and rewire your story so that it makes way as an empowerment story for a new future, right? And of course, you're going to want to rewire your access. In the beginning, we're not quite strong enough yet, oftentimes. And so we want to do some things to make it hidden, make it hard. And if we're still tempted, we want to make it hurt. Now, there's a great way to make it hurt. There's an app called Stick, which I'll get to, which is a way to make your habits, if you fall into it, really stick, because it's painful. And we're rewiring our pleasure pain because it was miswired to begin with, right? Sometimes the things that hurt us the most, we somehow associate with pleasure, and the things that help us the most, we somehow associate with pain. But we want to rewire that. Right? So the things that help us the most bring us the most pleasure, and the things that hurt us the most bring us the most pain, right? And pain is, oddly enough, a more powerful motivator, avoiding pain, a more powerful motivator than seeking pleasure. I was surprised by that research. You might be as well. So I mentioned this app Stick. How do they do this? So this app does an interesting thing. They have you run a negative campaign so that if you don't follow through, or if you're doing it for a positive behavior, you have to donate to a campaign you hate. And you also make a public declaration. And so if you don't do it, everybody's going to know about it. So again, this sort of displaces that pain, so that you make it known, so that if you don't do it, it's more painful. You're trying to balance that equation of pleasure and pain, because true pleasure is freedom, right? It's not having something that holds us back, that might bring us a moment of pleasure and then cause us months or even weeks or even years of pain, right? So floor and ceiling. Floor and ceiling here is a slightly different concept. We really want to focus about what's happening in this moment. And certain moments are more like a yellow light moment, right? We're sort of moving towards something and it's like, we've sort of breached in that. The alarms are going, doo-doo, doo-doo, doo-doo. If you aren't careful, you're going to be doing this. And then there's other moments, that's the floor, that are red light moments, where if we really don't shift this, we're going to be doing that behavior. Now, a classic one is smoking and drinking. right? A lot of times people will be fine not smoking, but if they have a couple of drinks and all of a sudden they're feeling like they want to have a cigarette and their impulse control isn't enough to stop them. Now remember that one mantra: if you miss one day, don't miss two. If you start one day, don't keep going for two. All right? And when you make it, when you have those successes, when you pass through those yellow lights and pull yourself back, maybe it's calling a friend or doing something different or delaying it, or you get into a red light moment and then you pull yourself back, celebrate those. Do that fist pump, do the happy dance, do whatever it is that you need to do to celebrate that moment. So again, one thing, rewired thing, floor and ceiling, and celebrate. And when you apply this consistently, you absolutely change your destiny. You'll start to feel more on track. And so enjoy as you hop into the worksheet. This is incredibly powerful. Remember, this is one of the keys, as much as starting a new behavior, for you being able to live the life you were born to live. And that's what this is all about. Have fun, and I'll see you tomorrow.